Let's kick it off with these hypocrites out in Hollywood who, despite lecturing all of us and their virtue signaling with the masks and on, and the kids sitting in LA County masked up all day, same as you saw with the Met Gala here in New York, kids masked up all day, irrespective of vaccination status, these Hollywood celebrities are basically on top of each other, hugging one another, no masks anywhere in sight. And if they hadn't been lecturing the rest of us all the time, I wouldn't care, right? I'm like you, get your thumb off of me. But they are lecturing us, and it's truly, yet again, rules for the year and not for me.
Every time, every single time. And you're right. Like it wouldn't be a big deal. Like we want people to be unmasked. We want people to go out and have their liberties and do what they think is best for themselves and make their own decisions. But the problem is that they're the ones who are lecturing us, and they're the ones who are telling us, oh yeah, we have to have your kids masked. This pandemic is horrible. People are dying. And then we see these images on TV of them celebrating on the red carpet and having their pictures taken, hugging each other after winning awards. And you see the staff standing around wearing masks, and it's such a disconnect, and it's so absurd. It's so ridiculous, and I can't believe people aren't catching on to what's happening because
are they embarrassed?
I think it's
like,
just
look at this. Isn't like Catherine Zeta-Jones and Michael? Aren't they embarrassed to be standing across from the masked serfs? As Glenn Greenwald put it last week, something like, "Well, see, their faces are pointless. Who cares about their faces?"
Right. They're like royalty, right? And yeah, you said the mass serfs. It's unbelievable. Like there was a picture from the Met Gala. I don't even know who she was. She was wearing a dress and she had equal rights
Carolyn
draped across her
Maloney.
shoulders.
She's my congresswoman on the Upper West Side.
Okay. And you see in the background, like there's all these women dressed in black and they're wearing masks. But she's the important one. She's above that. She's our royalty. She's the crowned princess. We can't have her in a mask. So it's just absurd. So I would just hope that more people see what's happening. That's really the key. Like look and see what's happening. Well, look what they're doing. They're making you wear a mask while they're not going to do it. They're exempting themselves. So it's ridiculous, and it should cause a revolution. I mean, and not saying like a violent revolution, but it should cause a revolt. Like people should push back and say stand up.
Like we saw in France.
We're not doing this. Yeah, it's crazy.
Like we're not like at the revolution. I mean, France, like recently, where people are taken to the streets to protest all the BS lockdowns. Here's 2 points I wanted to make on the COVID mask hypocrisy. Number one, you've got the sort of second class citizenry there, right? Like the serfs with their masks on. And while our kids are in school, so that the way they defend not wearing masks, people like AOC, people like these celebrities, is they say, well, everyone was vaccinated. Everyone was vaccinated at the Met. Everyone was vaccinated at the awards ceremony. Well, that doesn't matter. First of all, you're supposed to wear your mask at the Met, even if you're vaccinated, which, apparently if you're with Anna Wintour, you don't have to. But in like the school situation, like at our school, for example, everyone 16 and up has to be vaccinated. So why in New York and Connecticut, and New Jersey and California, why do the high schoolers, all of whom have to be vaccinated, have to keep their masks on all day when these people who are putting the policies in play don't? I mean, it's naked hypocrisy. They don't give a damn about children. They don't give a damn.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And this isn't new. This has been going on the entire pandemic. The hypocrisy has been happening the entire time. Even before we had vaccines, they were doing the same things. They were going out when they were supposed to be having lockdowns. They weren't wearing masks except when the cameras were on. I mean, they have been doing this the entire time. So it's not like they just started and trying to use the excuse, oh, we're vaccinated now. No, you've been doing this the whole time. You've been shirking the rules and putting them on other people while you exempt yourself. And it's been happening all the whole time. And you made the point about kids, and I've talked about that at length. It makes no sense that we would do this to our children at all. Like you talk about adults and people who are more at risk. Okay, like we can talk about the risk and talk about whether it's beneficial for them, but we have the science on children, and we know that COVID is not a risk for children, and they're not at risk to get it and not have severe symptoms, not at risk to spread it. And so why are we doing this to our children? And what was it? New York that passed the law that said that, or passed the mandate that said that the children above the age of 2 have to be masked. Like, what? You have a 3-year-old like in a
2 and
daycare
up.
that's being masked. It's unbelievable. Like,
Yep.
why? What is the purpose of this? And I haven't wrapped my head around it. I can't understand the motivation other than, Megyn, children are easier to control. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So
Yep.
it seems like these people are on a power trip, and adults are harder to control, but children, you can exert your will over them.
It's
And
so
that's
annoying.
the
It's
only
like,
thing I can figure.
do you hate children? Do you have children? Do you hate children? Like, why pass these policies that are uniformly harmful to
Yeah.
kids? It's like, to your point, yes, you can potentially get COVID from a child. You have to try pretty hard. What all the studies have shown is that they're very inefficient vectors of the disease. That's
Right.
why you have CDC studies that study the 90,000 kids in Georgia and find masks really made absolutely no difference. Kids, unless they're right on top of you, the odds of you getting COVID from a child are very, very low. And yet we treat them like they're dragons whose breath, every molecule of it is infected with the fire of COVID. And that's why we're shoving masks on these babies. There was a video, Leonydus, I tweeted it out on Friday, I think, of this little boy who was between 2 and 3 crying. We have it queued up, crying as the teacher over and over in daycare refuses to let the kid keep it off of his face. Watch this.
Put your mask on. No, you gotta wear it on, honey.
No, you gotta keep it on.
Put your mask on.
There you go. Keep it right there.
Yay, Mason! Yay!
Keep it on, Mason. Look, we're gonna keep it right here. Look.
Peekaboo, I see you. Keep your mask on. Put your mask back on.
What are you looking at? Come on, keep it on your face. You gotta keep it on your face till we go outside.
Oh, God.
There you go.
It's stomach turning. Mason is in the right, and that teacher, though she's trying to comport with policy, is abusing him. You can see permanent damage being caused to that child.
Absolutely. It's traumatizing for the kid. It's absolutely child abuse. It's hard to watch. It's very, very difficult to watch. Listen, Megyn, fear is a powerful motivator, and it makes people do just insane, ridiculous things. It makes people lose their capacity for rational thought. And what I try to explain to people is that we all have the capacity to do evil things and cause suffering in other people, even when we think that we're righteous and we're in the right, right? And a lot throughout this entire pandemic, we've been seeing that. We've been seeing people who've been driven by fear, who've been making completely irrational decisions, otherwise rational people making completely irrational decisions to control other people and to control children and to exert this insane power dynamic. And like we said, it's child abuse. I mean, the things that have been happening, from like shutting down schools, making kids wear masks, and now like there's even Pfizer is trying to approve their vaccine for kids from 5 to 11. So they're trying to push all of this stuff on kids, and it's all it's not based on science. It's not based on science. It's based on this sort of religious right kind of thing. It's all based on fear.